Kenny Law from Moonshiners has passed away, surrounded by loved ones. Although the business of distilling on Moonshiners isn't exactly dangerous, the cast members on the Discovery Channel show always appear to be just a tad worried about local law enforcement. Still, somehow they manage to skirt by, much to the relief of viewers, and over the years, fans have come to know and love the main and supporting cast members like Kenny Law. Kenny came from generations of distillers in Virginia, where much of the show takes place. But on January 15, 2025, his family announced that the previous day, on January 14, he passed away. So what happened to Kenny Law from Moonshiners exactly? He was 68 years old and one of the owners of Law's Choice Distillery, which remains in the family. According to the official Facebook page for Law's Choice Distillery, Kenny passed away peacefully and surrounded by loved ones on January 14. No official cause of death was given, but it sounds like there was an illness Kenny might have had that led to his passing. Since his loved ones were with him at the time of his death, however, at this point, that's just speculation. After his obituary was published online, an outpouring of fans posted their condolences and memories of watching Kenny on Moonshiners over the years. Didn't personally know Kenny, but I do watch Moonshiners and really love Kenny. One fan posted on the online guest book. Seemed like an honest, humble, good old country boy. Kenny will be missed by all. Viewers who watch Moonshiners know that there always seems to be a bit of danger involved, as it appears that the cast members aren't always quite upholding the law. But Kenny had been part of the legal moonshine company Law's Choice Distillery for a long time leading up to his death. In fact, the distillery was in his family for years before he even took over with his brother Henry Law. The distillery was passed on to them, and at the time of his death, Kenny was a third-generation distiller in Virginia. Although he wasn't one of the main cast members on Moonshiners, he was part of the show, and he is remembered by plenty of fans. According to the website for Law's Choice, the family's roots run deep in moonshining. In 1952, 16-year-old Amos Law began his career as a moonshiner in Franklin County, Virginia, better known as the moonshine capital of the world. The About section of the website says, by the 1970s, he was a kingpin of the modern-day moonshine industry and the head of an organization with distribution up and down the East Coast. Moonshiners' fan favorite, Tickle, had a moonshine-themed wedding. Here's why Chico is missing from the latest season of Moonshiners. Craig Landry from Moonshiners was hospitalized after a unicycle accident. Kenny Law from Moonshiners has passed away, surrounded by loved ones. The world of reality television, particularly those that spotlight the underbelly of American culture, lost one of its most beloved figures with the passing of Kenny Law, a star from the popular Discovery Channel series Moonshiners. Known for his tough exterior and sharp wit, Law's presence on the show was unforgettable, not just because of his role in the clandestine world of moonshine, but because of the authenticity and heart he brought to the screen. Kenny's death, confirmed on January 22, 2025, has sent shockwaves through the fans of Moonshiners and the broader community of those who loved the Southern traditions he embodied. His passing, though marked by sadness, was also surrounded by the love of his close friends and family, as he peacefully left this world at his home in the Appalachian Mountains, where he had lived most of his life. A legend in the making, Kenny Law wasn't just another reality TV star. He was a living representation of the culture that Moonshiners aimed to preserve and showcase. Born and raised in the Appalachian region, Kenny was steeped in the heritage of mountain life, with its unique way of blending ingenuity, self-sufficiency, and a bit of rebellion. His family had long been part of the moonshining tradition, a practice passed down through generations, often operating outside the boundaries of the law in an effort to maintain their livelihood. Though the law had evolved around these practices over the years, moonshine was still deeply rooted in the history of the region. It was this tradition that Kenny carried with him throughout his life, both as a craft and as a symbol of the mountains themselves. Many fans of Moonshiners were drawn to Kenny not just because of his moonshining expertise, but also because of his larger-than-life personality. He was an embodiment of the rugged, self-sufficient spirit that defined the mountains for generations. Moonshiners. The show that put Kenny on the map. Kenny Law came into the public eye through Moonshiners, a show that highlighted the modern-day moonshining operations in the Appalachian region, featuring individuals who kept the tradition alive. Despite the changing legal and social landscape, the show was more than just a reality TV series. It was a window into a world that many had never seen or understood. Moonshiners peeled back the veil on the illicit production of homemade liquor, a practice that had been largely underground for years. Yet, the show didn't just focus on the illegal aspects. It also painted a picture of a way of life, a culture, and the people who have lived it. Kenny's role on the show was one of a seasoned veteran. He was often seen in the show as the one with the wisdom, the one who could teach the younger generation how to keep the traditions alive, all while navigating the legal dangers that surrounded their craft. As with any reality TV star, the show also painted a picture of his life outside of moonshining. Viewers came to know him as a family man, someone who valued loyalty and camaraderie above all else. His relationships with his crew were not just those of business partners, but of deep, almost familial connections. Kenny became an unlikely symbol of resilience and integrity in a world that had often tried to erase the stories of the people like him. His tough demeanor on screen was often paired with moments of unexpected vulnerability. These moments humanized Kenny, allowing viewers to connect with him on a personal level. Whether it was a story about his struggles in life, his deep attachment to the Appalachian Mountains, or his unwavering belief in tradition, Kenny became a relatable figure for fans across the country. His charm, humor, and dedication to his craft made him a fan favorite. He was not a polished reality star, but a genuine person who lived a real, hard life. A life well lived. Kenny's passing marks the end of an era for Moonshiners. Over the course of the series, Kenny had become more than just a character on a show. For many, he was a symbol of what it meant to hold on to one's roots, to maintain the traditions that have shaped the identity of a region. But beyond his public persona, those who knew Kenny best remember a man who was kind, loyal, and incredibly generous. As a father, Kenny was deeply involved in the lives of his children, taking pride in passing down his knowledge and values to the next generation. His love for his family and his commitment to his craft were inseparable. Kenny's devotion to his family and his passion for the Appalachian way of life was felt by all who knew him, both on screen and off. Despite the tough exterior, Kenny was known to be a soft-hearted, devoted friend and family member. In interviews following his death, family members reflected on the legacy Kenny leaves behind, not just through his work, but through his character. His son, who often appeared with him on the show, spoke about how his father's life philosophy had always been centered around honesty and integrity, two qualities that he believed were essential for survival in the Appalachian Mountains. "He taught us to be strong but kind," his son said in a statement. "He taught us to respect the land and the people, and he was always there when we needed him." His passing is a deep loss not just to the Moonshiners family, but to the larger community of people who respected him. The moonshine community itself, long considered an outlaw tradition, has always been filled with complex characters like Kenny, people who live on the edge, yes, but who also possess a deep-seated sense of loyalty, honor, and respect for others. Kenny embodied all of those values, and as such, He will be missed dearly by his peers, his fans, and his loved ones. Kenny Law's legacy. A lasting impact. Kenny Law's death has left an indelible mark on Moonshiners, the Discovery Channel, and the millions of fans who watched him over the years. Though he may no longer be appearing on television screens, his impact on the show, and the people who tuned in to watch him each week, cannot be understated. His death has also sparked conversations about the future of the show, and how it will continue to evolve without him. Kenny had been one of the most beloved characters in Moonshiners, and his absence will undoubtedly be felt by fans and cast members alike. However, it's also clear that his legacy will live on. Moonshiners itself has become an essential part of preserving the cultural narrative of moonshining. It's a tradition that dates back centuries in the Appalachian region, one that Kenny worked hard to protect and keep alive. Through the show, and through his personal life, Kenny made it clear that moonshining was more than just about making liquor. It was about community, family, and maintaining a connection to the land. In the coming months, many are expected to pay tribute to Kenny in various ways, through memorials, social media posts, and through the continued storytelling of the traditions that defined his life. The Moonshiners cast has already shared their grief publicly, expressing their deep sorrow over the loss of their friend, and Mark and Digger.